Have you ever heard of SIM swapping? You might know it as simjacking or SIM card hacking. This is a fraudulent practice that's been causing quite a stir in the digital world. In simple terms, SIM swapping is when scammers cunningly gain control of your phone number. Now, you might be wondering why they would want your phone number. Well, it's not about making prank calls or spamming your contacts with unwanted messages. It's far more sinister. They're after your personal and financial information. Yes, you heard it right. Your phone number can be a gateway to your sensitive data. It's like handing over the keys to your digital life. It's a modern-day heist, but instead of breaking into a bank vault, they're breaking into your life through your phone. In the next few minutes, we will delve deeper into this issue, looking at how it works, its impacts, and how you can protect yourself. So, how does SIM swapping work? It's not as complex as you might think. Firstly, there's the stage of information gathering. In this digital age, personal data is often readily available, making it easier for fraudsters to gather the essential details. It could be as simple as a scammer combing through your social media profiles for information you've shared, or as complex as hacking into databases to retrieve confidential data. Next comes impersonation. Using the information they've gathered, the scammer will then pretend to be you. They might call your mobile carrier, claiming to have lost their SIM card, or that their phone has been stolen. Whatever the story, the goal is always the same: to convince the carrier to activate a new SIM card tied to your phone number. This leads us to the stage of manipulating carrier employees. Despite stringent security measures, human error can sometimes provide the loophole that fraudsters need. They may use social engineering techniques to persuade the carrier's employee to swap the SIM card. They can be very persuasive, often applying pressure by feigning distress, urgency, or frustration. Once the carrier is fooled, we enter the phase of seizing control. The carrier deactivates your current SIM and activates the new one in the scammer's possession. Suddenly, they have control over your phone number and can receive any calls or texts sent to you. This includes those crucial two-factor authentication codes used by banks, email providers, and social media platforms. Finally, there's the stage of exploitation. With control over your phone number, the scammer can now access a range of your personal accounts. They might drain your bank account, lock you out of your email, or even steal your identity. SIM swapping is a frighteningly simple and effective way for fraudsters to gain access to your personal life. But don't panic just yet. Knowledge is power, and understanding how these scams work is the first step towards protecting yourself. Being aware of this process can help you understand how to protect your personal information. Now that you understand how SIM swapping works, how can you tell if you've become a victim? One of the first signs you may notice is an abrupt inability to make calls or send texts. Your phone may seem fine one moment, and suddenly it's as silent as a deserted town. If you're receiving notifications of activity on your accounts from a different location, that's a red flag. Someone could be enjoying a shopping spree on your dime, halfway across the globe. Similarly, if you find yourself locked out of your accounts or unable to access your emails, social media, or bank accounts, you might be dealing with a SIM swapper. And of course, finding unauthorized transactions on your bank statement is a glaring sign that something is amiss. Remember, the sooner you recognize these signs, the better. Reacting swiftly can help prevent further exploitation of your personal data and resources. Recognizing these signs early can help you take action and minimize damage. Prevention is always better than cure. So what can you do to avoid becoming a victim of SIM swapping? First and foremost, modify your online behavior. Reveal as little personal information as possible on social media and other online platforms. The less a scammer knows about you, the harder it is for them to impersonate you. Enhance your account security, strengthen your passwords, and keep them unique for each account. Regularly update your software and ensure that your devices are protected with the latest security patches. Next, use PIN codes. Mobile carriers often provide an option to set up a PIN or password that must be provided before any changes can be made to your account. This extra layer of security can make it harder for a scammer to successfully impersonate you. Set up bank and mobile carrier alerts. Most banks and mobile carriers offer alerts for unusual activity. These can be an excellent way to catch a SIM swap scam in its early stages. And then consider using authentication apps. Two-factor authentication is a great way to secure your accounts, but as we've seen, SIM swap scams can bypass this if it's tied to your phone number. Authentication apps like Google Authenticator generate codes on your device itself, making it much harder for a scammer to gain access, even if they have your phone number. Building IDs without your phone number is another way to protect yourself. Many online services require a phone number for account recovery, but if possible, use an email address or another form of identification instead. Lastly, consider going phoneless. This might sound extreme, but it's an option that some cybersecurity experts endorse. Instead of a phone number, they use a VoIP service for calls and texts. This makes it impossible for a scammer to hijack their phone number, as it simply doesn't exist in the traditional sense. By taking these steps, you can significantly reduce your risk of falling victim to a SIM swap scam. But what if you've already been targeted? What should you do? If you find yourself a victim of a SIM swap scam, don't panic. Your first course of action should be to contact your cell provider. Let them know about the situation so they can take steps to secure your number and investigate the incident. Next, move quickly to secure your financial accounts. Contact your bank and other financial institutions to alert them to potential fraudulent activity. Consider placing a freeze on your credit to prevent unauthorized accounts from being opened in your name. Also, it's crucial to disable two-factor authentication, especially if it's linked to your phone number. Change all your passwords, starting with your email and financial accounts. Implement a password manager if you don't already use one. Remember, quick action can help mitigate the damage and protect your personal and financial information. It's a stressful situation, but with swift action, you can regain control and limit the impact of the scam.